People are coming out of the pandemic. We've been socially isolated, living in our houses, apartments, or whatever for years. And maybe some of those social niceties have disappeared or at least decreased. Hello and welcome to the Innovative Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Isolde Trachtenberg. On the show, I interview peak-performing innovators in the creative, social impact, and earth conservation spaces. I also bring you ideas and techniques that you can grab and use to set goals, create, and unlock your potential for changing yourself and the world. And now, let's get to the show. Hello and welcome to the Innovative Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Isolde Trachtenberg. Thanks so much for being here. And actually, that last sentence is exactly what I want to talk about to you today. Gratitude. Yeah. So a lot of us have heard, if you read The Secret in the 90s or whenever it was out, you heard about having an attitude of gratitude, and that is fabulous. And people say, say thank you for all your blessings and all of that stuff. And I'm not trying to sound flip or glib. I'm sort of trying to make a point here. A lot of that gratitude seems to be focused inward, like thank you so much for all I have, right? I'm so grateful for all I've gotten. And what I want to talk about today, as an extension of the communication episodes that I'm doing this week, is about gratitude towards others. I feel like that's something we're getting away from. Like, people contact me, and I can only really use myself as an example, even though I've noticed it in other situations and with other people. But when people contact me, a lot of times they're asking for favors. Can you give me this information? Can you do this thing for me? Can you talk to my class? Can you come and do this? Can you drive me to the airport? Whatever it is, there's a lot of favor asking. And one of the things that's happened is this feeling that people are entitled to have things done for them. I know I sound angry. I'm not trying to sound angry. I'm trying to sound contemplative maybe, but I believe in, as you know, I don't edit. And I really want to get the point across that if, to me, and I think to a lot of us, if you ask for a favor, if someone asks for a favor, and the person that you ask does the thing for you, say thank you. Like a heartfelt thank you. I'm not saying buy candy or flowers or take them to Aruba, although you might want to do that if you have the resources. I'm just saying acknowledge that you understand that they did something for you, right? That you understand and appreciate that they did something for you. And I'm probably speaking to the choir, and I'm not trying to put this to anyone, and I'm not saying that you, if you're listening to this, are ungrateful. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that I'm noticing societally, and especially in the business world, weirdly, this is happening a lot. People are asking for favors. People are asking you to introduce them to someone, or to give them something, or to show them something, and then say, great, and then never say thank you. And it kind of makes me go, weird. Am I being old-fashioned, right? And so one of the things that I do is I sort of look for kind of proof in the pudding on my Facebook page. If you're not friends with me on Facebook, a lot of these posts are public. You're welcome to look at them. But I'll post about it and I'll say, hey, does anybody else feel this way? And maybe there's a bit of confirmation bias there, because a lot of people on my friends list are people that I would expect to say thank you and you're welcome and please and all of those things. But it just seems like maybe we're so fast paced now that people are not interested in going, hey, thanks so much for taking care of that for me. And the question that I have to wonder about is why? What is the cause of this sort of informal behavior? And that might be it. The person might just think, hey, we're friends, or we have an informal relationship, and they know I'm grateful. I don't need to say anything about it. But here's the thing. You do. Say thank you, right? That I feel like, and I'm not anybody's mommy. I'm not trying to waggle my finger at anybody. That's not it at all. I just want to say that we are in a situation now where people are coming out of the pandemic. We've been socially isolated, living in our houses, apartments, or whatever for years. And maybe some of those social niceties have disappeared or at least decreased. And so now that we're back out and about, maybe we need to redirect our energies towards remembering them. And again, I'm not talking to you. If you're listening to this, I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm saying that I'm noticing this happening more and more, where we aren't, as a culture, as a society, expressing our gratitude as much. And it's more like, hey, do this for me. So the person does it for you. And then you go, great, see ya. And that's not appropriate. It's just not appropriate. If you ask someone for a favor, and this is weird stuff to be talking about, right, on a podcast, because there are all of those, what I learned in kindergarten posters that go, if you took it out, put it back. If you messed it up, clean it up. If you ask for something, say thank you. If you want something, say please. All of that stuff is supposed to be common knowledge. It's supposed to be something that we all learn either from our parents or, as I said, in kindergarten, even though I never went to kindergarten. But I can't help feeling like that is a piece of social interaction, human interaction, that seems to be decreasing in scope and in frequency. And I think we need to do something about it. I think it's not just about being grateful for what you have. It's about being grateful for what others give you, right? So it's not just, I'm going to count on my blessings. It's, hey, this person X, did something for me. Either they did something nice that was unexpected, or they did something nice that I asked them to do for me, which is a favor. And so expressing gratitude to that person, expressing appreciation to that person, I think is pretty crucial, right? My cohorts and I, we're starting a new podcast. So Alan, Sergio, Megan, and I are starting a new podcast. It's called the State of the Arts Podcast. I'm super excited about it. And they're just wonderful people. I'm so excited to be working in partnership with them to discuss the arts and creativity in a different way than on this show. And so I hope you'll check it out when it comes out. But the point of the matter is that one of the things that's sort of become a little in-joke for us is, I appreciate you. That we say that to each other. Not I appreciate it. Not I appreciate what you did, but I appreciate you for doing it. Or I appreciate you for being there. Or I appreciate you for being in my life, or for working with me, whatever it is. So that kind of, it's fun and it's silly, but it's also something that kind of makes me remember, yeah, it's kind of nice to feel appreciated. And I go back to Dale Carnegie a lot when I talk about this kind of human interaction. He hit the nail on the head when he said, not only do we like to hear our names, but expressing gratitude for X, whatever X is, only endears you to people. It's not that I'm saying be obsequious about it. Don't be like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. That's not what I'm saying. You don't have to go that far. I'm just saying, if someone does something nice for you, I'm fine with a ta, or ty if it's written. I'm fine with that. And I know I sound like I'm a whiny dropple here, and I'm not trying to be whiny. I'm just trying to say that I would like to see us all, as we come out of the pandemic, as we sort of get back into more direct interaction with people, look at some of these social niceties that may have fallen by the wayside over the last couple of years. They do matter, and they do make a difference. And it's a strange thing to think about as part of business interaction or entrepreneurial interaction with people. And imagine it this way. Let's say you have people working for you and you ask something from them and they do it and you don't say thank you. And it's not you personally, it's the general you, but can you imagine, like one of the things that we do as leaders is we make our people feel valid and valuable, right? I mean, that's part of what your job is as a leader. Well, what's one of the best ways to make someone feel valued and valuable? Say thank you. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know. I'm all over the place today, but I think it is really important. And I wanted to say that I have opened up my coaching practice for a few clients to come in. I've had a few clients who've gone, as I've been saying to myself and to other new clients who are coming in, My goal is to become superfluous to my clients. I want the people I work with to go, well, I'm good to go. I might need a check-in in about a year. I'll talk to you then. Great. And so I have had a few people do that over the last few months. So now I am ready to open my practice back up for business and life and executive coaching, depending on what your needs are. If you want to book a discovery call, a complimentary discovery call, feel free to do that. You can do that with me. The link to do that is in the show notes. I would love to hear from you and get to know you a little bit more. And and please feel free to leave me a voicemail too if you would rather do it that way. The link for on the show notes. The link for that is on the show notes too. There. Fried brain. Alrighty. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And this is Isolde Trachtenberg for the Innovative Mindset Podcast, reminding you, as always, to be bold, be creative, and most of all, be kind. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to the podcast if you're new, and it would mean the world to me if you told a friend about it. Today's episode was produced by Isolde Trachtenberg and is copyright 2022. As always, please remember this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, although we can always hope. Until next time, remember to be bold, be creative, and most of all, be kind.